When I was 16, I came to Yosemite Valley for the first time. And up until that point, I climbed outside a bit, but not a whole lot. And for the first couple years of my climbing experience in the valley, it was just all bouldering. It was just a total pebble wrestler. But as it goes as a climber, being in Yosemite, you start looking up and checking out all the big walls. So I started looking at Half Dome. And I don't know, maybe I was 18, 19, something like that. And I wanted to climb Half Dome in a day. And so I recruited my buddy Jimmy, and we decided that we were going to go, as fast and light as possible. One rope, so no possibility to bail, at least very easily, and hopefully do it all in daylight hours. So we hike up there, bivvy at the base, and set off. And Half Dome, the route is incredible. It's totally classic, super fun, flowing climbing the whole way. And we'd read a little bit about the route before we left. And the topo called for a number 4 Camelot. And I was adamant. I didn't want to carry a number 4 all the way up the wall for one pitch. So the deal was, Jimmy agreed that we wouldn't bring the number 4 as long as I led the pitch that required it. And that pitch is called the double crux, and it's the pitch that leads up to Big Sandy Ledge. So, we arranged the leads in a way that I got that pitch, and we didn't bring the number 4. So we're setting off, we're climbing, it's going great. We're literally singing as we climb. We're having that much fun. And then it comes to the double crux pitch, and it's no exception. I'm having so much fun. We're singing, just laughing, totally cruising up the wall. And then, knowing that this is the pitch that we're supposed to bring the number 4 along for, I'm constantly looking for a place that it would be needed. And I'm just not seeing it. I'm just cruising, totally casual. And then I get to the base of this 4-inch, 5-inch off width that just goes up to the sky. And I was like, well, this is probably where that number 4 comes in handy. So what I didn't know is that if you just stepped around the corner right there, you end up on Big Sandy Ledge and the pitch is over. But I had it in my head that there was some part of this pitch that needed a number 4 Camelot. And here I was staring up at this off width. It's like, well, this is probably it. So I plug in whatever gear I have left that would fit and just crawl in. Now, the crux of a lot of big wall climbing, or just climbing on a big, big cliff like Half Dome, is staying on route. Well, I just made a fatal mistake that I didn't know. Well, not literally fatal, but almost, of getting off route. So I crawl into this off width. And when I started, I thought it was about 15 feet tall. But really, what I didn't know is that it was just an angle change in the wall, and that the off width actually went for 60 or 70 feet, it felt like. So I crawl in, shimmy my way up. And again, I'm a gym rat. I'm a pebble wrestler. I don't know how to climb an off width or a big wall. Like, I'm just scrapping my way up this thing. And so I'm, left side in, arm barring, gas stoning with the right hand, just cheese grating my ankles, trying to find some kind of purchase for my feet, and just crawling in. And I finally get to this flake, and it's the angle change that I saw from below that I thought was the end of the pitch. But really, it was the angle change in the wall. And when I got to that flake, I was able to look up and see that this crack just went to the sky, and I was nowhere near the end of this pitch. So I can't back off. On the double crux pitch, you start by walking down a ramp. So there's a ledge that I would hit if I fall at any point now. So it feels like free soloing. And just thinking to myself, this is not happening. How did I get into this situation? So the only thing I can do is keep going. So I crawl in and just start fighting with all I got to finish this off width. And the thing about risky situations in climbing, at least for me, is if you're prepared for them and you've taken that calculated risk, it's a different experience altogether. But when you find yourself there on accident, it's a whole nother ball game. And this was definitely one of those times where I was expecting a cruiser 5.8, 5.9 pitch. And instead, I'm in the middle of a dirty, licheny, steep off-width and looking at a ledge fall 16, 17 pitches up, half dome with a single rope. So a rescue or a rappel from there would have been really hard. So I'm just cruising up, not cruising at this point, just grinding up this off-width, I can feel my elbows getting bloody and slippery. My ankles are already mauled. I got dry mouth and just fighting. I feel myself peeling out and yelling and just teetering back in and scraping in, and it finally gets wide enough that I can fit a knee in, so I get a little bit of respite. I can hear Jimmy over my shoulder just sending whatever encouragement he could my way. And finally, it starts to relent. My knee's in the crack. I'm able to relax a little bit more, and I end up at the top of this off-width, and I'm looking around, and I'm so out of it, like pure survival adrenaline pumping through my veins. And I'm like, where's the zigzags? I'm supposed to be on a ledge. The experience was so wild. It was such a survival moment, it felt like at the time, that I totally forgot and didn't realize I was off route at all. It wasn't until I got to the top of the pitch and realized that none of the landmarks that were supposed to be there were there. No big sandy, no zigzags, bloody, dry mouth, just adrenaline. And then I look down and right, and way, way down and right, maybe 50, 60 feet down and right is big sandy ledge. And that's when it all clicked that, holy shit, I just harrowed through this off-width hell for the last 15 minutes, and I was off route. So now I'm run out 50 or 60 feet, which means you're going to take a 100, 120 foot fall onto a ledge. I'm just trying to recover my breath, and I have to now kind of scramble down climb these loose flakes down to big sandy ledge. Luckily, there was a way to down climb down to that point. So slowly but surely, I made my way back down to big sandy, and thank God there's some other climbers that left a stash of water there, and that totally saved me. So I chugged the water, took myself off belay, and Jimmy started following the pitch, and I was gassed. He got up there. He was so glad I didn't break my legs or worse, and I looked at him and said, "It's all yours to the top," because it was my lead block. So I had to give it to him to lead everything from there, because all of my physical energy, all of my mental energy was gone. And we scraped our way up the last bit of the wall, and it's a good lesson in staying on route and not letting the euphoria of fun climbing cloud the fact that, even if you're having fun and you're on a popular route, it's possible to get in a dangerous situation real fast simply by going the wrong way. So that's my off-route story on Half Dome.